You're back.
Yeah, mate, I'm back. I'm not flooded down the Tuncurry waterhole anymore, but yeah, you're back too.
Yeah, I was in the States for a little bit, but you were flooded in.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, we had the 500-year storm pass through the mid-north coast. Yeah, we were cut off for a fair few days, but I mean, we got out of it pretty lightly compared to some, and yeah, there's a big clean-up for a lot of people.
All right, well, lucky Jess Porrells was around and she filled in for you last week.
That's it, mate. I've got some big boots to fill now, but...
All right, who's going to do our intro?
Dunno, mate. Send it.
Ready?
Good people of Earth, you are about to witness one of the most important barbecue, live fire, good food podcasts in the history of this hemisphere, this Earth, this quadrant, this space anomaly. I'm DJ Barbecue. Man, are you in for a treat? We're talking about lighting fires. It's what helped us move on from like chewing for 4.5 hours a day. It's what, you know, if it wasn't for barbecue, if it wasn't for fire, we would not have trucks like this. We wouldn't have boats like this. We wouldn't have phones in our hand. We evolved as humans, as Homo sapiens, because of barbecue. You are welcome. Enjoy. Underseasoned. Man, I'm excited for you.
What a legend.
What a champion. So his name is DJ Barbecue.
Wow, what a character, eh?
Do you know of him?
I've definitely seen him about the traps, but now I feel I know him a little bit better.
So one of the first ever cookbooks I bought related to barbecue was Jamie Oliver's America. And DJ Barbecue was kind of like Jamie Oliver's go-to barbecue guy. So that's how I first read into him. And I've been a big fan ever since and followed his career. So he's now got his own TV show. It's called the Lost In series. This is his new cookbook, Backyard Baking. We need to get our hands on one of these. And they say never meet your heroes, but I did meet him in London about 12 months ago, and he's an awesome dude.
Yeah, cool, man. He definitely looks like a very eclectic character of the scene.
Yeah, so I appreciate him doing a shout out for the episode of Underseasoned and taking time out of his day. I think he was filming that day too.
Yeah, cool.
All right, moving on. What's this one?
This is one of those funny old AI Pitmaster characters, yeah, but Pitmaster John Pentazis has sent us a custom one, and he's wearing the Underseasoned t-shirt, mate.
Yeah, he's repping the Underseasoned shirt. So obviously everyone did one of these. We featured it on the show, but I thought this was a pretty cool touch for him to dig up our logo and put it on his shirt.
Yeah, that's it. And if you're after one of these shirts, hit the link down below. We've still got some merch on the go. Help us get to Macca's down the road.
All right, one last thing before we get into the episode, and we have a giveaway. We have a knife?
Yeah, mate, we've got the cutthroat knife. It's up there behind you. That's the one we're keeping anyway. The one we're going to send off to the winner is sealed away, unopened. But yeah, look at this sexy specimen. Woohoo!
So this is the knife we were giving away, and all you had to do was leave a comment. I think it was on episode 32 of our YouTube channel.
Yeah, you had to leave a comment on the YouTube so that we could get some traction over there, and we've run the raffle. Hit play, mate, and let's see who the lucky wielder is.
There it goes. Who we got?
There we go. MJE Salami.
MJE Salami. He's the winner of this beautiful knife.
The sexy cutthroat knife, mate. I actually know Mark, so that's really cool. He's going to be pretty chuffed, eh, bro?
So it's from Australia?
Yeah, mate. He's up there up in Queensland, so
cool.
Save yourself some dollars on postage.
Well, congratulations. You have scored one of these beautiful cutthroat knives, and thanks for being part of it and leaving a comment on our YouTube.
That's it. One of only two in existence.
Okay, now that that's all out of the way, what is inside this episode?
All right, so inside this episode, mate, we've got a heavyweight in the Texas barbecue scene expanding. We've also got a bit of love for our mate Mel from Dark Side of the Grill. We've got some podcast love. We've got some pickles, and we've got some Smokin' Willie T style pork.
Perfect. All right, well, let's just jump straight into it. We're going to start off with our fuck up of the week.
That's it, mate.
And this is it. So the fuck up of the week goes to Budget Rent-A-Car in Dallas-Fort Worth, because I ordered the cheapest little crappiest car I could find, which was a Kia Soul. And look, I know these Dodge Challengers are a dime a dozen in the US, but this is what they gave me instead. So this is what I was driving around in. I got stuck in Dallas-Fort Worth for one day. So I kind of put online that I had a day and what should I do? And Alan Curtis, who's a pitmaster at Hutchins, he took me for a tour of their pit yard. All the brisket stacked up there, all trimmed, ready to go.
So good.
And I met the team. I toured the kitchen, toured the pit yard, and he shouted me lunch too, which is really cool. So big thanks to Alan.
It looks like a meat croissant down the bottom there, bro.
That's a Texas Twinkie.
Looks so good.
It's the biggest one I've ever eaten, and it was great.
I think I've got some of them on the menu coming up in a couple of episodes, actually. I've been inspired. So, yeah, we're going to cook some of them one day.
Actually, that Texas Twinkie is the best one I've ever had yet. Moving on, I went and checked out Zavala's, and I got a tour of the pit yard there. So thanks to Joe for hooking me up. And then I went off to Hurtado's. I had a birria taco and I had a brisket tostada. All in all, it wasn't a bad way to spend my day instead of being stuck at the airport.
Yeah, that's it, mate. While the rest of Australia was getting absolutely bucketed on, you were over there and had a bit of bad weather yourself to deal with.
Well, I was in an aeroplane at the time this weather hit, and they diverted us to Nashville. So I spent 4 or 5 hours in Nashville, got back on the plane, waited 4 or 5 hours on the runway for us to take off again, and eventually I got to bed at 4:30 a.m. in the morning.
Jesus.
Right, moving on, we have a second fuck-up of the week.
Yeah, that last one didn't seem to be too much of a fuck-up, but yeah.
It was a good segue into thanking people for my time in Dallas, but this is the actual one. Now, can you spot anything kind of different about this photo?
The walls are too clean.
Yeah, they're too clean for a pit yard, aren't they? So this one was posted by Embers Cafe in the UK. It looks like they're doing a cooking class here. And the guy in the photo is Adam Purnell, and he owns an amazing live fire-inspired restaurant. I don't know. Does something seem a little bit of a miss to you?
I don't know.
Bit breezy?
Bit breezy?
Well, I thought I'd zoom in here and have a look. So if you look closely at the very bottom of this photo, but then you scroll up a little bit, that's a whole cookbook by DJ BBQ, another one that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, right.
So fuck ups on me because I didn't know that he has another cookbook here called Fire Feasts.
So good. They just look like such rad, informative publications.
The awesome barbecue book for feasting with family and friends. And I think he co-authored it with Chris Taylor, who I think is called T-Bone Chops.
Ah, yeah, cool. I think he's in Australia at the moment.
He is. Okay, let's move on to our dishes of the week.
That's it, mate. Let's get this show actually going.
Okay, it was sent to us by fucking
Willie T.
It's pork belly stuffed with a boudin wrapped in bacon with a big red barbecue sauce. And this is what it looks like.
Wow, get in my belly.
Pretty cool, eh?
We're all about that bacon wrap stuff.
So he's cooked these, I'm pretty sure, on the smoker, and this is the final product.
So good. Little porky pops.
I would smash about 10 of them.
I'd smash about 10 and then shit my pants.
Okay, you might shit your pants after this one because that's a lot of jalapeno to put on a pie. It was posted by Dull Painting, and he says, my first attempt at Tavern-Style. So number one, did you know in America they call pizzas pies?
Yep.
And then number two, do you know what Tavern-Style is?
I assume it's the way they slice it because that's about the only thing that looks different.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great looking pizza. So it looks like a bit of sausage and jalapeno and cheese, but Tavern-Style pizza is a very thin base, edge-to-edge topping, so there's no crust really. It's cut into squares, and it has a crispy texture with no flop.
Delicious.
That's the undercarriage.
Yeah, good times, eh?
He's done well, eh?
Fuck yeah. Into it.
Okay, next. What do you make of that one?
That is some delicious looking pork and some delectable sides.
So what we're looking at here is a dish by Bente Griesbeck, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, but she's a Danish chef who lives in Australia now, and she does a lot of outdoor live fire cooking, and she's in Brazil at the moment.
Yeah, right.
So this dish is crispy porchetta with grilled fruits, a Waldorf salad, honey mustard sauce, and potatoes with oxtail.
Yeah, right. Looks like a bit of a grilled peach or a nectarine there right in the middle, and I'm a big fan of fruit and pork together.
It looks stunning, doesn't it?
So good.
So she's the guest chef at the moment at Fazenda Trascada, which is Restaurant Trascada. It's one of the top restaurants in Sao Paulo, and she's cooking with Paula Labaki here. She's also a gun chef.
Yeah, wicked. Yeah, I met Paula 2020, Auckland Meat Stock. She came over and helped out. She was such a legend.
Yeah, she's a great chef, and this is a bit of maybe a collab between the two of them, or maybe Paula's just helping her. But it's pretty cool to see a Danish chef from Australia in Sao Paulo cooking her traditional Danish cuisine. I think she said she grew up on a pork farm.
That's it. Social media has made the world a lot smaller now, so we can all share our talents and that sort of thing, and this is what we should be doing.
All right, next, you're going to tell me your first thoughts on this one. You ready?
Go. Oh, smash all day, bro. Steak frites.
This is the lucky last dish of the week. It was posted by Cupid of Hearts, and she says, rate my plate.
Yeah, probably high nines there, mate. I'm pretty happy about it. That looks like a good bit of steak Diane there in the middle of a nicely cooked steak and some good crunchy chips.
But she's gone to the trouble of putting the bit of parmesan and
Probably a bit of parsley and parmesan, something like that. Bit of herb crusted there to complement the sauce and the steak, but win all day.
yeah. My only little tiny thing would be that steak does look a little bit grey. It looks a little bit over. But the char's beautiful.
Char's beautiful, mate. I'm still going to smash it.
Yeah, I'd smash it every day of the week. Okay, moving on to some news. We've got some barbecue-related news now. One of the bands is going on tour here, and they've got a really long tour list.
Yeah, right. Fergalicious. Is she from the Black Eyed Peas?
So it looks like a band tour poster. Look how many bloody dates is on this poster. It's not a band, it's a pitmaster. His name's Richard Fergola from Fergalicious Barbecue, and this is his pitmaster tour. He's doing classes and demos and shows. He starts in Oklahoma. He goes to Kansas City, Australia. He's going to the Full Throttle Ranch here in Australia. He's going to Turn Left at Albuquerque here in Australia. Then he's off to Chicago, Canada, and then he ends in Texas.
Yeah, right. Sounds like a bloody good road trip, mate.
He's like a barbecue rock star.
Yeah, that's it. Jump on a few planes, trains and automobiles, see the countryside while you're slinging your wares.
So if you're in Canada, Australia, or the US, grab your tickets because I think this guy's on fire in terms of competition barbecue at the moment.
Well, that's it. It's a big week for the Full Throttle guys there because that's the week before their international competition too, isn't it?
The Full Throttle World Barbecue Championships.
That's it. Is he sticking around to compete in that or?
I don't know the answer to that question. But on the topic of World Barbecue Championships, I think America has 4, maybe 5. We deserve at least 1. So that's the one, Full Throttle Ranch. If you're a competition barbecue team and you want to come and compete with Australia's best, Full Throttle Ranch, the Full Throttle Open and the ABA Invitational, I would say it's the most respected competition in the country.
That's it. And we're going to be there, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah.
We might even do a podcast.
We might even. I'm going to be doing my first ever bit of ABA judging on the Saturday, which I'm really excited about for the Invitational. Yeah, then on the Sunday for the Open, we might just hang out and, kiss babies and that sort of thing. But I'm going to do a bit of painting while I'm there too, finish the outdoor area that Mick's had me doing over the last year or so. And it's going to be a good weekend. Hopefully the weather's a bit kinder this year.
Yeah, it was pretty rough last year. But having said that, everyone made the best of it. And hopefully it is better weather.
That's it.
Moving on, these guys got an honourable mention in the Texas Top 50, but Terry Black's, it's a kind of like a well-respected, they've got about, I'm going to say 4 or 5 stores, but they're spending $6.5 million USD expanding into Texas' biggest city, Houston, and the new restaurant is going to be 8,300 square feet.
Jesus, that's big meterage.
So they've already got a place in Austin, Lockhart, Waco, Dallas and Fort Worth, and they have plans for San Antonio on top of Houston.
Yeah, right. I'd love to go to the one in Waco after spending all day in the wave pool.
That's a good segue. What an awesome combo, right? Surfing and barbecue, like my 2 favourite things.
That's it, mate. You'd roll out of the pool and then you'd roll out of Terry Black's.
Okay. What do we have here?
Oh, we've got the Pope, who is currently now the #1 barbecue restaurant in Texas, and he now follows the show, which he probably should have done from the start. We shouted him out early on, mate.
Well, we did pick him in our guesses of the top 50 to win, and win he did do. Picked the top 3, by the way. But we're a big fan of this guy, so it's pretty cool to see that he's following the show.
That's it, mate. Yeah, we love it when you guys get around us and follow us and DMs as well. So Jay manages all them, so be kind.
Okay. Failed or nailed?
Let's go. We love this one.
I love this segment. It's where I put you on the spot, right?
Righto.
For some of them, I've got to give you a little bit of background, but for most of them, it's just the one shot. You've got to just, as soon as you see it, you've got to hit me up with it.
Just shooting from the hip, mate.
Last week, Jess Prowse cheated a little bit because I feel like she waited a little bit too long. She thought about it too much.
Oh, God, you can't ruin the vibe, Jess.
Okay, you ready?
Yep. Oh, fuck. I've got an upstanding rule that pizza's always nailed, so...
This might be one to break it.
It could, but, they've failed.
This looks like a frozen supermarket pizza that didn't actually hit the oven.
No, it looks like it defrosted in the plastic.
So it was posted by Happy Dog Days, and they said, I tried our local pizza house. So it's actually from a pizza restaurant.
Oh, no. Then that's a definite fail.
They said, don't know, but kind of undercooked, the crust and toppings. But what I'm looking at here seems to be half the top of the pizza seems to be mildly cooked, I would say, and the bottom half not cooked at all.
No, I reckon the dishwasher's jumped in to help in service here. I'm not sure, mate. Oh, look, you can save it. If you put that thing back in the oven, I'm sure it could probably crisp up. But if you're paying for that, you know, you're not going to be too stoked.
Well, Yeppa said, lol, they gave you a Lunchable. And Time Spiral said, was it sticking halfway out in the oven when it was cooked? The bottom half is raw, and it is bloody raw.
It looks as if they've fed it through the conveyor belt and then someone's gone, get that pizza, but they've grabbed it from the wrong end, and this end here, the bottom half, hasn't actually made it to the toasting grill.
Right. Okay, next, there's a shocking-looking pizza. I can't believe you were almost going to give it a win.
Mate, I could still eat it.
Good too. All right.
I don't know, man. I reckon it's a nailed. I'd smash that. That's a bachelor feed. Mum and the kids are away. You're going to fart all night. It's good times. In front of the computer, he's probably gaming all night. So, yeah, it's just sustenance.
So it was posted by Aspiring Champ, and it says, I don't ever want to hear that British people can't cook or Britain has no food culture again. Boom, he's posted this photo.
No, you haven't validated any of those causes there, mate. You still can't cook and you still don't have culture. But, you know, you haven't ruined anyone's day.
So what we're looking at here is 7 sausages sticking out of a bowl of baked beans. And what is that on the side? Like 5-6 waffles?
Yeah, they look like those potato waffles, and there's clearly 6 sausages in there, bro.
Yeah. Irvan in the comments said, this is a bangers and beans Stonehenge.
Fair call.
Okay, let's move on.
It's Adam Roberts' taco.
What are we looking at here? And is it a fail
It's
or
a
nailed?
fail. Look, it's a couple of slices of what we call down here in Australia, Devon or bologna. Our stateside's cousins might pronounce it as. But, yeah, it looks like it's a double-layer Devon taco with some pistachios and honey. I like all those things individually, but not together, thanks.
Right, so it was posted on White People Making White People Food, and they say white people need to stop trying to make tacos. Maybe it's mortadella.
If I was drunk, which I never will be again, I'd probably... Look, if you put that in front of me now, I'd try it. But it's not going to be on any menus anytime soon.
Well, way to live up to the stereotype.
That's it. Clickbait.
Okay, next. Now, this one was sent in by Davo. He actually sent it to us for Failed or Nailed. He's from WA Brews and Q, and he goes, failed or nailed? What's your thought, boys? You ready?
Jesus. Nailed.
So he says, this is my first ever full-size brisket done in the Traeger. I used the overnight cook method. I triple wrapped in butcher's paper. I then rested it in the oven at 70 degrees for 8 hours.
Yeah, next time do less, but yeah, that's a good result.
Not bad for a first brisket.
No, real good. Better than ours.
Nice pull too. Look at that.
Yeah, that's it. No, the more briskets you do, mate, the more you'll realise you don't have to take all those steps. But yeah, fucking good on you.
Well, I think that's a win.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, we've got some new products out there.
Tell me more, buddy.
So, the legends at Westmont Pickles. I think you've got some pickles behind you.
Yeah, man. Woo.
Now, they've sent us in a new product line of theirs, and it's not pickles.
What? They look like pickles.
But before we get into it, I noticed this on their website. How do you eat your pickles?
What do you mean, bro?
So that's exactly how I eat my pickles, right? You just
Bro, they're definitely pickles.
dunk your hands in there and you just grab pickles, right? Apparently, you need a pickle picker. So no more getting brine on your fingers when you're snacking on pickles.
You'd need them halfway through.
To get the bottom one, so you're not getting your fingers in there and trying to, like, dig them out.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like you're not trying to break into a car, but yeah. No, these are good, man.
Okay, but what they did send us was this. It's a new product. It's called Virgin, and it's a Virgin Bloody Mary mix. And I'm sure you could add alcohol, but we're not going to. We're just going to drink it straight.
Just be careful. Richard Branson's pretty protective of that name.
Well, it's Virgin.
I was reading the ingredients before it. I was going to add some hot sauce to mine, but then I realised they've got some fermented habanero in there. Mate, I'm always partial to a bit of a Virgin Mary.
Well, if you ever see me drinking a Bloody Mary, I've had too much to drink.
Or it's breakfast time. Chin chin. Cheers, Westmont.
Thank you.
That doesn't need anything, bro. That's sick.
That needs zero heat.
I'm into that.
It's spicy.
That's good.
It's really, really good, isn't it?
I'm happy about that.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for sending us in Virgin Bloody Mary mix.
Nom, nom, nom. And the pickles are banging too, so I'll be slapping them on some burgers.
Okay, on to talking points. Now, do you remember a couple of episodes ago, we featured a gun-shaped smoker?
I sure do, mate. I don't know where this is going, though.
Okay, so these are two different ones. Now, remember, one looks like a bit of a old six-shooter, and the other one there looks like a little bit of an automatic handgun.
Yeah, you bought this off Facebook Marketplace, didn't you? That's where this is going.
No, but Richard Everett sent us another video, and he says, I just saw this video, and I noticed a cameo, pew pew. Let's watch. So what's happening?
We've got a big rig going on a way station by the look of it. There's no smoker on the back, though. Oh, bang, bang. Bit of catering going on.
So what I want to know here is, it just segues into a truck picking up some rubbish and just completely forgets that there was a smoker shaped like a gun.
That's it.
Okay, so this is a totally different gun smoker to the other two that we've already featured on the show. How many gun-shaped smokers does America have?
Well, everything's bigger in Texas, mate, so even the guns. That one's pretty cool, though. Like, it's got the charcoal box or the firebox there right on the back axles, so that'd make towing a fucking bit of a dream.
So the door and the chamber looks like it's the cylinder of the gun.
That's it, and then the barrel is the smokestack.
That's pretty cool.
But it's horizontal. Wonder how that goes.
All right, that's the third gun-shaped smoker we have seen in America. So if you've seen one anywhere else, send it in. We're going to add these to our collection.
Do you reckon they need a fan in it to assist the draw? Quick draw.
Okay, so somebody shared one of our videos in their story, and this is not any old person here. The guy's name is Clay Cowgill, and he's one of the pitmasters at Snow's. Now, Snow's is one of the most popular barbecue joints in America. I think it was number 1 2 Texas monthlies ago. People line up at 3 a.m. in the morning to eat their barbecue. And along with Tootsie, between the two of them, they cook pretty much everything at Snow's. And he runs all the smokers. So if you ever go there, Tootsie is generally on the brick pits, and there's a heap of big smokers in the background. And Clay, this is a picture of him, he is one of, if not the most hardworking pitmasters that I've ever watched in action, period.
Yeah, right.
So Clay, we see you, bro.
We see you, bro. We salute you, man.
Yeah, so not to take anything away from Tootsie, because obviously she is a gun. Between Clay and Tootsie, they're just a powerhouse, those two.
Yeah, that's it. When Tootsie shares our story, she can come on the show.
We'll give her a cameo.
Yeah.
She might not even have Instagram.
Yeah. True.
So a big thanks to Clay for sharing our stuff. And if you like what we do, give it a share.
Yeah, that's it. It costs you nothing.
Good enough for Clay.
Yeah, that's it. But no, it really helps with the mission we're trying to achieve with broadening our barbecue horizons and shouting out as many people as we can. So, yeah, share, like, subscribe, all that sort of thing. And Jay does go through all the analytics. So a lot of you guys are telling porkies that say you watch the show every week.
Okay. Let's move on. We have some mail.
Fuck yeah. I'm glad that this is a regular thing.
So DM us on Facebook, on Instagram, and just send us your latest cooks. Send us anything you want us to talk about, some photos, some fails, anything you want us to chat about. If you just DM us, chances are you'll probably end up seeing it on the show.
Yeah, bloody oath. We're all about sharing everyone else's fails, their wins, all their content and that sort of thing. And
well, talking about podcasts, this one was sent to us by John McGuire, and he says, "What's up, guys? Johnny Mags from the Pit Life Barbecue podcast. Fucking hell. Why am I just finding you guys? I'm absolutely loving your show. It's tremendous. I'm binging all the episodes from the first to the current."
yeah, sick.
So that's pretty cool. So I looked him up, and I have seen his podcast before. He's no slouch. He's interviewed some really, really big pitmasters. This is an interview with Malcolm Reed, and he's had some amazing guests on the show, and the podcast is pretty cool. So if you haven't already, go follow it. It's called Pit Life Barbecue Podcast, and you can find it on most podcast platforms.
Hell yeah. I'll have to check that out. It's always good getting love from the peers.
It's really cool to see one podcast reach out to another podcast. I mean, we're all trying to share the love at the end of the day. And he's since got back to us again, and he said, "Hi, guys. I'm officially all caught up, all 30 plus the extras. I'm absolutely loving your show."
Yeah, awesome.
So I appreciate you reaching out to us, mate, because we kind of feed off that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, that's it, mate. We're stuck down here in Australia in our little bubbles. I sort of come out of full-time dad mode to come and do this show. So when I'm in the studio, I sort of get to catch up with everything that's been going on. And, this is fucking cool.
Awesome. Okay, speaking of you in your shed, you're normally stuck in a shed doing art for people. And this one is a killer. Tell me all about it.
So this one was actually commissioned by Luke Moonshine from Fat Boys. This was a surprise last year when Mel Schmiller Jr. from Dark Side of the Grill, he came over to Australia to do Meat Stock Toowoomba, and he was here for his birthday. So we got this thing all drawn. Well, I got this thing all drawn up and printed up onto a big A1 size poster, I think. Presented this to him at the Fat Boys restaurant just before Meat Stock, and he was pretty speechless because, he knew nothing about it. I did some pretty serious stalking and found some cool reference pics of him, and he's got this framed in his lounge room now. And, Mel's a brother for life, and he's doing awesome things in the scene, man.
He really is. And on to that point, this is a new series of videos that he's brought out called Man Down Under. And it's a 3-part series of his adventures to Australia. And as this podcast goes to air, he's only brought out number 1, and it's pretty bloody good.
Mate, it's been beautifully filmed. He brought Brody, his filmmaker, over with him, and this is basically just the documentation of the fortnight Mel and him spent in Australia. They had Al Fragoni with them for a lot of it. They came to Meat Stock. They documented the cyclone, which cancelled Meat Stock Toowoomba, and it's a real personal angle. So you're not just seeing Mel in front of the grill cooking all these things. You're seeing the other side of Mel. Mel when they're sitting there dealing with being away from family, and you really get to know him as a person by watching this. It's so beautifully filmed.
Well, truth be told, I started to watch it and I did wonder how far I would get through it, but I got through the entire thing and loved it.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing start to finish, and I was pissed off at the end when I realised it was a multi-part.
So at home, maybe you should wait till episode 3 comes out and then you can binge watch all of them, would be my recommendation, because the first episode was fantastic, but now we've got to wait for the bloody others.
Yeah, that's it, mate. It's like how you used to watch TV back in the day when it only came out every week. It's not like now. We've got the luxury of binging a full series start to finish.
Okay, moving on to Pit Builders. Now, this one was sent to us by Cow Barbecue.
It's a big stack, bro. It's going to be some draw there.
It's huge. What we're looking at is an absolutely massive barbecue with one of the biggest stacks I think I've ever seen. And it was titled, "Will This Be the Greatest Smoker in Europe?"
It is a big beast, isn't it? What is it, 13,000 gallon?
It's 1,300.
13,000, the world's biggest smoker. Fuck.
Right, it's a 1,300 gallon smoker, custom made, fully insulated. It works so smooth. It's 4 tons in weight.
Wow.
It's an epic pit, isn't it?
It is. You're not going to move that round?
I don't think in Europe I've probably seen anything bigger.
No, certainly not.
In the States, maybe. In Australia, definitely. But in Europe, this would be the biggest pit I've seen over there. It was sent to us by Cow Barbecue. They're located in Portugal.
So good. I love Portugal. And that's also a challenge too. If you've got a bigger pit in Europe, let us know.
Yeah, correct. If you know of a bigger pit, let us know. But they said, we launched Texas-style barbecue 1 year ago and people just got crazy with us here. They're waiting in line for more than 3 hours to eat our barbecue.
That's crazy, eh?
So A, the barbecue must be good. But B, people are probably pretty starved of good barbecue in Portugal. But C, this is the restaurant. And now this is a render. I think they're going to build this. So based on the demand they've had for the last year, they sent us this photo, but they really didn't give me any context to it. So I'm assuming this is the restaurant that they're going to build.
So cool. I love my time in Portugal. One thing I got sucked in, though, was I was in a lot of the touristy areas, and you show up at a cafe, you're starving, and they put those little plates out of the fucking little finger food and that sort of thing. And if you don't touch them, they end up getting rid of them. Yeah, they take them away. But we were always just, oh, yeah, fuck yeah, you're eating these stale croquettes and that sort of thing. And then you check your bill, they're like 12 euros for those plates, while you can get a feed for about 6 euros.
Yeah, I think they trick the tourists that way. Portugal, I've never been.
Really? It's fucking good, man. Really simple food. Like I remember we went to a cafe. We were there surfing. We were down at Super Tubes at Peniche, and we went to a cafe and they had an English menu and it was like prawns and lettuce. And you ordered it. It was literally a sheet of lettuce and some prawns. And then I ordered octopus, and it was literally just an octopus on the plate, been cooked. There were no sides. There was no fancy chef doing anything. It was just really simple, but it was good. It was fresh. It was unreal.
Well, they certainly know how to do seafood right over in those parts of Europe, like Italy, Spain, Portugal.
Yeah, the Mediterranean and I guess you'd say the Atlantic Ocean there. Good feeding grounds.
Okay, well, this restaurant and smoker looks absolutely fantastic. So Portugal's on the bucket list, and thanks for sending that into us, Cow Barbecue.
Fuck yeah, let's get there.
Okay, on the menu, and you have cooked for us, and I'm starving, so I'm so eager to know what you've cooked.
That's it, mate. I've gone into my Meat Stock Sydney show bag for this one. So a few things here. I've got some Smoky Rebel Texas Red seasoning that I got personally from Bill Dumas. This is one of the rubs from Smoky Rebel out of the UK. But also, too, our friends from Fuegos, which make those beautiful big open fire pits, they gave me this pot.
That's nice.
It's called Alu Chef, and this is it's an aluminium crock pot, basically. So it's super light. It's all non-stick, so the cleanup's awesome. And, I cooked a chili in this bad boy. It's designed for camping because it's lightweight, you can put that in your backpack or whatever and, or in the back of the car, and it's not big, filthy, dirty, heavy cast iron. I wouldn't go throwing it in a blazing hot fire, but it works good on gas, induction, all that sort of thing. And cheers to the guys for that one. Okay,
so these are the ingredients here for the dish. Now, what are we looking at?
Righto, mate. We've got about 1 kilo of brisket trim there, which is different to leftover brisket. We've got a whole brown onion, a green capsicum there. We've got heaps of the Smoky Rebel Texas Red. We've got half a tin of tomatoes and a can of beer. And most of the flavors that are coming through in this chili are all in this little sexy can here.
Okay, and that's the Smoky Rebel.
It's the Smoky Rebel, but it's Bill Dumas's personal recipe, this one.
Okay, so you start the recipe off by...
So I've thrown in some tallow, which I got from the same brisket the last time I smoked it. I rendered down the fat and made a heap of tallow. Chucked the brisket in. That tallow is nice and hot. Got that sizzling away. Got a nice colour to it. Then once the beef was brown enough, I got rid of that and left all the fat still in the bottom. Had to level out my cooking device, though, because it wasn't real straight. Then what have we done? We've thrown the onions and the capsicums in, and then I reckon I spent half that can of the seasoning in there. The recipe called for 7 tablespoons, so I was just like, fuck it, send it. Got it in there, made it all crunchy, and then I've rendered it down. I've hit it with the can of beer, so it's deglazed it with the better beer there. Yeah, got that all sizzling. And once it sort of started simmering, I kept adding all the wet ingredients. So then we've gone in with the 2 cups of the beef stock and the half tin of tomatoes. And then once that's come up to the boil, added the beef back in there, and then we've put the lid on and said, see you in 3 hours.
So it's as simple as that. Throw it all in.
Chuck it all in, mate. Yeah, there's no real... I mean, the idea is to get the meat brown first, and because the pan's not massive, you can't do everything at the same time. But I like to do a bit of a dry mix there where I've put all the seasoning on the capsicum and the onion there to get it all dried out and soak it up and almost sort of, I guess, release some of those chili flavors going on. And I've got to say, though, I steered off the recipe at the end. I chucked in a handful of choc chips just to sort of give it a nice bit of sweet thickness.
What do you mean? You added to this choc chips?
Yeah, mate, I love a bit of chocolate in my chili. I think it just cuts a bit of the bitterness at the end. But, yeah, I'm also a bit of a fat boy at heart, so pretty happy with it. It was just so great that all the flavors, it's all come from that one can. And the recipe for cooking it and the steps are on the back of the can. So I cheated well and truly. This did cook of the week.
Okay, but you're not done yet.
No, mate, we're putting a bit of a Tassie twist on here. We're doing some jacket spuds. I grew up eating a lot of these things. We actually had a fast food chain back in the day at home called Praties, where it was almost a Subway style setup. When you show up, there's a bain-marie full of all different sorts of hot and cold fillings, and you load your spud up, you go on your merry way. But yeah, I've converted a few people onto the jacket potato, and when I first gave my wife one, she didn't come up for air, mate. She was that into it, and she'd never had one.
But you're just poking it with holes, putting it in a microwave?
Yeah, mate. Put it in the microwave about 2 minutes aside just to steam them from the inside out. Then you finish them off in the smoker, nice and naked, and they basically just perfect doneness potato with a crunchy skin.
Okay, let's bring this thing out and eat it. I am starving. I've got the stunt cam here, so let me just get that going.
There we go, sir.
Ooh, that looks stunning. What have we got here?
We've got some crushed up corn chips.
Crushed up corn chips for a bit of texture?
Just a bit of texture, yeah. So the serving ingredients suggestion by Bill Dumas himself is raw red onion and cilantro, or coriander as we like to call it. Just added a bit of crunch. So let's go.
Let's dig in. Oh, wow. It's great.
Oh, yeah. The recipe did call to add a whole jalapeno if you were that way inclined, but I wasn't too adventurous this time, but next time I definitely will.
Well, I do think it could do with a little bit more heat, but it is delicious.
Yeah, man, the flavours are good, eh?
That was great.
Texas Red by Smokey Rebel.
My God,
When was the last time you ate, bro?
not all day. So I'm going to smash this.
That's got to be a win then.
Okay, so moving on to the Encore, and you sent me this one.
Yeah, man, it came across my feed somehow, and it's Pickle Me Elmo.
So it was posted by Stefani Sylvan on a bad taxidermy group, and it's not technically taxidermy, but she says, I thought Pickle Me Elmo belongs here. When you sent it to me, did you actually know that this is a thing?
No, surely it's just a one-off.
Well, you'd think so, but I went looking. Chris Miller in the comments said, had mine for years. And there's heaps of these. There's more than just one. It's a thing.
Bro, I've got a Tickle Me Elmo at home, and when my daughters don't want it anymore, let's do one.
We need one for the studio, I reckon. So they're Elmos put into a jar with pickling juice, and they look like they've been pickled. Apparently it has something to do with DISH, which stands for the Greatest International Scavenger Hunt. And that's about all I know. We need one of these for the studio.
Bloody oath we do, mate.
Okay, that wraps up this episode. It's just started to piss down here, raining, and we've just snuck this episode in.
Yeah, we're stuck inside our little tin shed here, mate. It sounds like it's torrential rain out there, but it's not. It's just peppering the walls, which aren't insulated, and it's making a hell of a racket.
Yeah, well, one day we'll have a fancy studio, but until then...
See you next Tuesday.
Do you know Jess Prowl said it last week too?
Did she know what it means?
She did. She looked right down the eye of camera and said, see you next Tuesday.
I love it.